Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're re-diving into a topic that is incredibly important for millions of people across the country, universal credit. Specifically, we're going to talk about the 17 crucial changes you absolutely must report to the Department for Work and Pensions, or the DWP, to avoid some serious financial headaches. Failing to report these changes can lead to your payments being stopped, having to pay a penalty, or even being taken to court. It sounds scary, but don't worry. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what you need to do to stay on the right side of the rules and keep your payments secure. The DWP has very strict rules about who is eligible for universal credit and how much they receive. Your payment isn't just a fixed amount. It's calculated based on your personal circumstances. So, when those circumstances change, your payment might need to change too. The official government advice is crystal clear. You must report any changes as soon as they happen. This isn't just a suggestion, it's a requirement. If you delay, you could be overpaid, and if that happens, you will have to pay that money back. The DWP guidance also points out that a change can affect your payment for the entire assessment period, not just from the day you report it. So, promptness is key. Let's break down exactly what these 17 changes are. First up are changes related to your health. If you develop a new health condition, or an existing one gets better or worse, the DWP needs to know. This is particularly important if you become too ill to work or to meet with your work coach. A significant change in your health can affect your claimant commitment and what's expected of you, so it's vital to keep them updated. Tied to this, and this is a sensitive but crucial point, is if a medical professional has said you might be nearing the end of your life. There are special rules that can help fast-track support in these situations, so reporting this ensures you or your loved one gets the right help right away. Next, let's talk about work and money. One of the biggest changes you must report is finding or finishing a job. This is pretty straightforward. If your employment status changes, your income changes, and that directly impacts your universal credit. However, there's a specific rule for the self-employed. If you're self-employed, you must report any changes to your earnings. For those who are employed by someone else, your employer usually reports your earnings through the pay system, but for the self-employed, that responsibility falls squarely on your shoulders. Another financial area to be mindful of is your savings and investments. The amount of capital you have can affect your eligibility for universal credit. If your savings, investments, or the total amount of money you have changes, you need to report it. This includes things like receiving an inheritance, selling a property, or even a significant lottery win. The thresholds for savings are quite specific, and crossing them without telling the DWP can lead to an overpayment. Similarly, you must report any changes to your bank details. This is a practical one. If the DWP doesn't have your correct bank account, you simply won't get paid. So, if you switch banks or open a new account for your payments, update your universal credit account immediately. Now let's move on to your living situation and family life. If you move to a new address, you must report it. Your housing costs are a key component of your universal credit calculation, especially if you're a renter. Speaking of which, you also need to report if your rent goes up or down. Even a small change can alter your payment, so don't overlook it. Your family circumstances are just as important. A major life event like having a child needs to be reported. This will likely increase your entitlement as you'll be able to claim for the child element of universal credit. Another big one is moving in with a partner. When you become a couple, the DWP will treat you as a joint claim, and they will look at your combined income and savings. This will almost certainly change the amount you receive, so it's a change that needs to be reported without delay. On the flip side of this, if you're already claiming as a couple and you separate, that also needs to be reported immediately so your claim can be managed correctly as a single person. While not explicitly on this list of 17, it's a fundamental change to your household. The rules also cover caring responsibilities. If you start caring for a child or a disabled person, you need to let the DWP know you might be entitled to extra financial support, like the carer element of universal credit. And it could also change the work-related activities you are expected to do. For families with older children, there's a specific rule for those aged between 16 and 19. You must report if your child stops or restarts education or training. Whether they are an approved education or training affects whether you can still claim for them as part of your universal credit award. So keeping this information up to date is essential. Next, let's touch upon travel and immigration. The rules are slightly different depending on where you live. If you live in Great Britain and you go abroad for any length of time, you must report it. Similarly, if you live in Northern Ireland and you travel outside Northern Ireland, you need to report that too. The length and reason for your trip can affect your eligibility, especially for longer trips. For claimants who are not British citizens, any change to your immigration status is a critical piece of information that the DWP must have. Your right to reside and claim benefits is tied directly to your immigration status. So any updates, renewals, or changes need to be reported as soon as they happen to ensure your claim remains valid. Finally, there are a couple of administrative but equally important changes to report. One is changing your mobile number or your email address. The DWP uses these details to contact you about your claim, to send you notifications about appointments, or to verify your identity. If they can't reach you, you could miss important information that could lead to your payment being sanctioned or stopped. It's a simple thing to update, but incredibly important. So, that's the full list of 17 changes. I know it seems like a lot to remember, but they all boil down to keeping the DWP informed about your life. The big question is, how do you actually report a change? Thankfully, it's usually quite straightforward. The easiest way is to sign into your online Universal Credit account. This is the same account you used to make your original application. Once you're logged in, there should be a report, a change of circumstances section. You just follow the on-screen instructions and enter the details of what has changed. You'll need your username and password to log in. If you've forgotten them, don't panic. There's an option on the login page to get a reminder. It's a good idea to keep those login details somewhere safe so you can access your account quickly when you need to. Remember, the consequence of not reporting a change is that you might be overpaid. If the DWP discovers you've even paid too much because you didn't report a change right away, they will require you to pay that money back. This is often done through deductions from your future Universal Credit payments, which can make it very difficult to manage your budget. In more serious cases where it's believed you've deliberately withheld information, you could face a financial penalty or even prosecution for benefit fraud. This isn't meant to scare you, but to highlight how seriously this is taken. The system is designed to provide support based on your current needs, so it relies on you providing accurate, up-to-date information. Think of your online account as a direct line of communication with the DWP. Use it, check it regularly, and if anything on that list of 17 changes happens in your life, make reporting it your top priority. To recap quickly, the key areas are your health, your work and finances, your housing and family situation, and your contact details. Any change in these areas, big or small, could affect your payment. By being proactive and reporting changes as soon as they happen, you are protecting yourself from the stress of overpayments, repayments, and potential penalties. You are ensuring you get the correct amount of support you are entitled to, no more and no less. I hope this breakdown has been helpful and has made the rules a bit clearer. Managing a universal credit claim can feel overwhelming at times, but knowing the rules is the best way to stay in control. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video useful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel for more guides and information designed to help you navigate the world of personal finance and benefits. If you have any questions, pop them in the comments below, and I'll do my best to point you in the right direction. Stay safe, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next video.